Stacey, it's Minors Monday. There's two guys I wanted to talk about here today specifically. I love me my unranks, but I got to always give love to the ranked guys. Let's give you a dynamic duo this week from the Tampa Tarpons. Number 19 prospect, Anthony Hall, and unranked prospect, Christopher Familia. We're going to talk about two left-handed hitting outfielders that just crushed this week. Let's start with Anthony Hall, again, the number 19 prospect in the Yankees system. This is his first real season in professional baseball. He broke a hamate bone in his very first professional at-bat last year. So he literally had one at-bat, and he popped out, so then missed the rest of the season. So he's back. He had a slow start, but is on a tear right now. 3 straight games with a homer, and all 3 of those games also multi-hit games. In the month of June, he's played 18 games after Sunday, didn't play on Sunday. It's hits in 16 of those games. So his bat has really come around here this season. He's a prospect that has some really raw power and some pretty quick hands. They're trying to get him to adjust to some of the off-speed pitches that has kind of plagued him throughout his brief career so far. He's a guy that I kind of want to liken a little bit to Trey Sweeney in an interesting manner. Like we've talked about Trey Sweeney, that he was good, he's fine through his college career a little bit. Then he had one really good summer and then exploded, right? That's when the career really took off. And that is kind of the same for Anthony Hall. He had his first 2 years at Oregon. They're fine, whatever. Goes to the Cape Cod League, boom, explodes over a summer, then had an incredible last season in Oregon, then gets drafted 4th round. So you kind of can see that trajectory. There's these kind of late bloomers. Obviously, there's guys that go, straight from high school to pro ball. They can immediately do it. There's guys that have to go to JUCO. There's guys that have to go to college, and they kind of have to figure it out for a few years, and then all of a sudden it clicks. So I think this is just a nice little reminder to say, hey, everyone's path is a little bit different. There's guys that develop later. There's guys that develop early. There's guys that fizzle out. Baseball's a weird sport like that. It's not as cut and dry as some other sports. But that's what's nice about Anthony Hall is now you're starting to see his trajectory really start to take off. And speaking of that high trajectory, same for Christopher Familia. I love giving you the names that you don't know, and this is one of them that I hope you will know now moving forward. Finding himself on a 5-game hitting streak, all 5 games that he played in this week, didn't play on Sunday, just like Anthony Hall didn't. Familia had a 2 home run game on Tuesday, including a walk-off solo shot. And he has very quietly been one of the best Yankee minor leaguers here in the month of June. We haven't talked about him on this show, but his June has been out of this world. Look at this number, Stacey. 928 slugging percentage this season. His season started on May 30th. He had an offseason injury to his wrist that kind of slowed the start of his season. He is now back, started on May 30th, and has been nothing but a monster at the plate. He's batting .398 on the year. This is his second stint with the Tampa Tarpons. He started the season in the FCL last year and then got called up about halfway through to Tampa, struggled with Tampa, but he has very clearly figured out Florida pitching this season. He's just turned 23 years old this month, and I got to imagine this guy's going to be a Hudson Valley Renegade very soon. I think he's figured out the Florida State League pretty well. So I would anticipate maybe a call up here sooner rather than later for Christopher Familia. Again, an unranked guy, just a big power bat, left-handed bat. That's just kind of, man, he's impressive. You watch some of the video, I was very impressed because first time I've really seen him swing. I've heard about him last season a little bit with some of that power, but now it's really starting to flourish. Speaking of call-ups, by the way, Stacey, subtexters found this out. Clayton Beater was called up earlier this week from Somerset to Scranton Wilkes-Barre. So congratulations, number 13 prospect in the Yankee system, getting his first AAA call-up. He ended up pitching as well this week and had a pretty nice debut. Nothing crazy, but had a fine debut. Speaking of AAA prospects, Stace, we haven't talked about Andres Chaparro lately. Right. That's for good reason. He certainly slowed down in May and June. He was not at the torrid pace that he was during spring training and in April and early May. But this week, 4 homers and a massive grand slam on Saturday, a big old grand slam, 437-foot bomb. It was the 3rd longest hit baseball in AAA on that day. And that thing just came off at a whole 179.9,
Wow.
107.9 off of the bat for Andres Chaparro. So again, he kind of like fell a little bit there, had a rough stretch, and it looks like he might be heating back up, which is nice to see. I think the problem when it comes to call up Chaparro is defense. He's a corner infield. He's been playing first and third, but it's he's not known for defense here. Let's put it that way. Obviously, the bat has been very good for a decent chunk of the season this year. It's consistency and it's defense right now for Andres Chaparro, and he really bursted on the scene, obviously, during spring training. So we'll see how they continue to develop Andres. But I there's some raw tools there that are pretty exciting. And while, by the way, we are talking about guys that have impressed that you maybe weren't really anticipating, Tanner Tully is very quietly. We've talked about him a little bit on this show. Had a very nice season. 3.91 ERA this year, starter for the Rail Riders, 4th best in the International League. So he's very quietly put together some nice stretches and a couple of good starts in a row on a few occasions this season. So Tanner Tully, maybe a guy to kind of keep your eye out for. Obviously a non-40 man, but someone to keep your eye out for. And I just want to say a quick congratulations to the Somerset Patriots and the Hudson Valley Renegades. The first half of the season is officially over now after Sunday. Somerset and Hudson Valley are going to the playoffs. So congratulations. Somerset will have a chance to defend their Eastern League title. That's back-to-back first-half champs for the Somerset Patriots. Shocking. We've been talking about Somerset and how good they are all season long. But first time for Hudson Valley as a Yankee affiliate. So that's very, very cool.
Yeah.
So all the congratulations to all the hard work they put in this season. And we'll see how the teams change now. That's the whole reasoning for the first half, second half thing in the minors, right? It's because teams change halfway through. Guys get called up, guys get let go. The draft comes in and things really start fluctuating. So we'll see how it affects these two teams and if their first halves and second halves are drastically different. Hopefully not. Again, Hudson Valley, you're probably going to be getting Christopher Familia here soon. So we'll see. Hey, thanks so much for checking out Minors Monday. Here on Locked On Yankees, we do this every single Monday where we check out the top performers in the Yankees system throughout this entire season. Of course, if you're new here, we also do regular Yankees coverage Monday through Friday. Every single day, we have Yankees coverage here on Locked On Yankees. So hit subscribe if you like content like this, and you'll always be able to hang out with Stacy and myself.